A-Bait of Louisiana, American Veterans, Baca, Bayou Country Riders,
Yeah.
Bayou Demons, Bikers for Christ, Broken Chains, Brothers Keepers, Cajun Norsemen,
Yeah.
Cajun Riders, Circuit Riders, fueled by Jesus, Combat Vets, Confederates,
Yeah.
Confederation of Leathernecks, Family Ties, Fire and Iron, First Five, Fragile Defenders, Gray Ghost,
Yeah.
Hellfighters, Hell on Wheels, Hole in the Wall, Hooligan Crew, Hope Pushers,
Here.
Iron Cross Riders, Kindred Vets,
Yeah.
La Familia, LA Riders, Los Soliteros, Loyal to One, Marines MC, Mechanized Cavalry,
Here.
Noble Sons, Odin Sons,
Yeah.
Allfield Ironmen, Rebel Riders, Reverend, Road Shakers, Road Hard Riders,
Yeah.
Running Dogs, Savage Kings, Scarred Crew, Servant Souls, Soldiers of Christ,
Here.
Sons of Liberty, Southern Comfort, Steel Horse Ministry, Temple Guard,
Yeah.
the Priesthood,
Yeah.
Throttle Skulls, Troubled Souls, U.S. Military Vets, Upton Nord, Veteran MCs, Veterans Vietnam, Widow Sons,
Present.
Wind and Fire. Thank you.
All right, didn't hear your name, come see, Ed at the end of the meeting. It's gonna be a short meeting today, looks like, I know a lot of clubs had other things going on, but we had to reschedule today because of conflict with the church schedule and everything. Holidays are coming up, we've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Not that any of y'all in this room gonna be drinking, but if y'all drinking and driving and get pulled over, don't, consent to the field sobriety test. That's an agility test. Don't consent to any searches. Make it vocal. You do not consent to the search. Like I said, Louisiana is an ID state, so they ask you for your ID in Louisiana. Even if you are a passenger of the car, you have to present your ID and correct me if I mistake anything.
Yeah, and I've got a little war story to tell about that later.
Okay, so be sure, main thing, don't take the sobriety test on the side of the road, because they gotta, if you ask a question, they're gonna mark that down, you know? You know, you take 10 steps instead of 9 steps, they're gonna mark that down. You got 2 points against you, you're drunk, you're going to jail. You know, so don't put yourself in that position, especially if you're somebody old like me, bad knees and back, stuff like that, they ask you to do that one leg thing and all that. You know, they're gonna fail me, they're gonna, you know, and I don't drink, so, that's one thing to look out for. I'm gonna give it the floor to Donnie Brown. And one other thing too, this electric stuff that's going on, that's what 2035, I think it is, like 12, 13 years away down the road. So we gotta keep that in mind. I'm sure Donnie's got some stuff to talk about it with the MRF and everything. So we need to kind of get on board with that, because that's gonna affect all of us in this room on our motorcycles. Plus, it's gonna affect your neighbors, your mama, your daddy, your grandma, everybody else with weed eaters, lawnmowers, and their cars and everything else. It doesn't affect just us. And some of y'all may be old car collectors, antiques, and all that stuff. You're gonna catch y'all trying to get gas for those things, you know, unleaded gas for those things. So keep kind of that in mind. I think Donnie's gonna get more detail about it. You got the floor. Donnie Brown.
Okay. Well, just got a couple of things. One on an interesting note. About 7, 8 years ago, when I was up at the Bikers in the Beltway and lobbying for biker rights, one of the newly elected congressmen, Mike Johnson, he was 435 out of 435. He was, in terms of seniority, he was, he just about got elected, and because Louisiana's in a runoff, usually it was a month later, so he was the last congressman to get up there seated. So he was last in terms of seniority, and I don't know if you've been watching news, but what recently happened with Republicans, he actually became Speaker of the House of Representatives. So in 7 years ago, he was on the bottom of the barrel. And about 8 or 9 years ago, he was down at in Baton Rouge as a state representative down there. He supported this on freedom of choice helmet bill back in the day. And when I was working as MRF rep, I did get an endorsement for 2 congressmen, him and Clay Higgins. And like I say, now he's Speaker of the House. So it's unusual that I don't think there's ever been a Speaker of the House from Louisiana, or definitely not from Northwest Louisiana. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen there if he gets to hold on to that position. It's really
They're both from Louisiana.
Yeah, Steve Scalise is down from Southway, but he's the second man in the House. So
First time ever.
so we got the top dog and the second in the Congress. So it's quite interesting because, like I say, Louisiana's just a small state. We usually don't have a lot of pool, but we've had a good relationship with Mike Johnson, and we've had a good relationship, obviously, with Clay Higgins, who's come here and spoke too. They've helped us out on our bills, and one of them we're going to talk about right now is supporting your right to repair. We got a call to action. MRF's put a call to action out on it now. It's HR 906, and so the Repair Act, what that does, it ensures that vehicle owners or repair shops are not denied access to information, software, or tools needed to work on vehicles. The proposed law also establishes rules regarding vehicle data access. Common sense law will help preserve consumer choice in a fair marketplace. So like I say, we need to definitely go to MRF alerts, and like there's, like I say, right there from the website, you can log in, and in a couple seconds it'll send a letter to your representative asking them to support the resolution.
That's, was it MRF.com or what is it?
Yeah, it's mrf.org, O-R-G, and you just go to alerts. You go to alerts, you sign up, and then you give them your email address. Well, they will email every time there's one of these call to actions, you'll get it in your email. And like I say, once you put your address in there, it knows who your congressman is or your state representative. It'll pull it up. You ain't even got to know that. They got it rigged up. We really don't have to do much, nothing but click every time one of these goes out. And we need all support we can get right now, because the next thing I'm going to talk about just a little bit is, some of the stuff's going on in California. And
with these call to actions, I know everybody in this room is probably doing it, but pass it on to your members too. Pass it on to your wife, your neighbors, and everybody else. Some of these, it's going to come down, it's going to affect them too, but be sure to pass it to all your brothers in your club too, and get them to do it, and stress how important it is for them to do these things. Right? Like in the old days, when I first started with the C.O.C, we had to write a letter or make a phone call, and it was hard to get bikers to write a letter. Some of us couldn't spell our last names, all we knew was our road name spelling, so this is so much easier, and it holds a lot of weight, and that's what we're here for. We're here to fight for everybody's right, independents, RCs, MCs, 1%ers. We're here to fight for everybody's rights, not just the people in this room. So try to get everybody else involved in it too, and what we do helps everybody else out. If we can't get everybody else to do it, at least we'll do it, and we're helping ourselves, and at the same time, we're helping everybody else. So it's a really good thing to do these call to actions. I'm sorry, Don.
so like what we're seeing in California and some of these places where they're starting to phase out internal combustion engines by year. You know, they're mandating it by year 2036. In this case, as examples of with Ford Motor, what they've done is they've actually moved. You know, they've come out and said as far as diesel motors, they will not be selling any in the state of California by the year 2025. So just 2 years away. So whatever the regulations are, you know, these companies will follow. And these politicians got a lot of power. Like I said, we've got to tell them, hey, this is not the direction we want to go. You know, we want to make sure that we have our rights. And I mean, some of this stuff, you know, in terms of what they're pushing is maybe not even feasible. And there's debate over that. So the House of Representatives passed H.R. 1435, which would amend the Clean Air Act to prevent a ban on the sale of internal combustion engines, effectively trumping any state law that outlaws their sale. And the Senate needs to act on the bill now. So that's Senate Bill 2090, Preserving Choice in Vehicle Purchases Act of 2023. And so, like I say, you get on there, please go on there and click and share that information with everybody, because like I say, it's coming. You know, it's getting here quick. So one other thing I wanted to mention too, I've worked in insurance for about a decade, about 10 years, and I may preach your sermon here in a minute. But I'll give a couple examples of about a couple of different brothers. One of them I was talking to at a rally just a while back, and we got on the subject of insurance. And anyway, I said something about, because I always say, you know, carry that's what we always preach up here, and that's what everybody preaches. Well, anyway, he told me, he said, my agent said that wasn't worth having, you know, and that really disturbed me. You know, that anybody with an insurance license, you know, that knows anything about motorcycles would say something like that. I don't know. But what I'm putting together, and I'm going to have copies of this next time I come next C.O.C. I'm putting together a guide on purchasing motorcycle insurance. Depending on the carrier, you know, some carriers have discounts for different things. Safe driving records, some have discounts for veterans. But I've sit down with a lot of folks that they bought their motorcycle insurance at, you know, at the Harley shop. They got great insurance on the bike. They got no insurance on their, you know, the protection. You know, if you're working, if you're supporting a family, you know, if you go down on your bike, you know, for $20-$30 a month extra, $300,000 would go a long ways. So like I say, you want to make sure, because I have another brother just went down in a wreck, hit and run. He only had liability. And that's another reason I put this together. I mean, because like I said, we got, you know, we do benefits, we support our brothers and do all that, but you know, if you're loss of income, medical bills, and all this stuff, and when you're in these wrecks, and we know people that's walked away from them. I mean, I've seen people at rallies, you know, talk to them, you know, they got a lot of metal in them. They can't go through a metal detector, but I mean, doctors put them back together after they were run over by an 18-wheel or something. You know, but these medical bills can get really, really expensive. And like I say, most people, you know, we have low state minimums. That don't go very far, you know. And in Louisiana, we got a lot of people don't have no insurance running around on the roads as well. And so let's protect ourselves if you can. Make sure you protect yourselves. Like I said, I'm gonna have that put together and should have that copy of that for everybody here. Kind of showing some different discounts, different ways you can put that in there, and maybe not cost you too much more money out of pocket, because you can do that. That's all I have.
Well, that's basically what Florida and Texas does too. You know, you've got to have a minimum of 100,000, not where that helps.
Right.
You know, and that other MR you brought up was, it was Harley Davidson and somebody else about the Harley these, you know, they wanna drop your warranty if somebody else puts spark plugs in it.
Mhm.
Well, all that crap's come to an end.
Yeah,
You know, you can go to any shop now.
Yeah.
There was somebody else, and I can't remember who it was. Somebody big also.
So they did make the right to repair.
well, I said,
That's the bill. That's the bill it passed. It should be.
yeah.
I thought it passed.
It passed the House.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah.
gotta go through
It has to go through the Senate.
Okay. That bill hadn't passed yet, it just passed the House, it's gotta go to the Senate next before.
It takes a couple, 2 or 3 stages before we get, but like I say, I mean, all these emails, what they do is, you know, they keep tabs of that stuff, you know, they have people in their office to keep tabs, that we've got X amount of folks emailing in on this issue or this issue, and they watch those things just like they wanna get reelected. So, I mean, you know, all of our efforts to tell them, you know, what we think is what we need to do.
And with those, QC programs that we had half with ABATE, the call to actions Donnie's talking about, when we first set our first one through the C.O.C., we had over 4,000 people that did it. So, I know we got the numbers to do it, and when we flood Baton Rouge with 4,000 or 5,000 people with these call to actions, that goes a long way.
Yep.
That's why I'm stressing, we gotta keep on doing this, we gotta keep doing that. It's helping the state of Louisiana, helping us bikers. Sorry, Don.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say this, if you don't know if you got a UM or not, it'll say on the declaration plate, rejected. You know, if anybody would like a review, you know, me to take a look at their policies and see what particulars are, just give me a call.
Trouble, we have a core, report?
Hadn't had anything lately, numbers, no numbers. I did get the information from Jack, it's a book about that thick,
You did get it?
I finally got it, yeah,
I'm trying to go through it and sort it out.
yeah, I mean, it's,
That's gonna be a nightmare.
it's, I don't know how long that's ever gonna take.
That book stayed in the closet all the time.
No, he actually kept up with it,
Oh, I know, but I mean, he's been passed.
yeah, and so, but everybody that I've sent, they have, you know, and I made copies, so I'm putting it in that binder.
Okay.
It's just the fact of trying to figure out the time to even try to do a spreadsheet on it, because some have been deceased, you know, some
And in case
don't have any information other than a phone number.
Yeah.
So,
In case any of us done up to date, Jack, passed away a while back, and he was taking care of the Coalition of Independent Riders, and, right before he passed away, I think he knew he was gone, so he took, Trouble under his wing and kind of showed Trouble, how he was conducting the core program for us, and we finally got all the paperwork and stuff that he's been keeping track of for years and years and years, and that's what Trouble's sorting through right now for us.
yeah, it's
That's
a
for
lot.
the independents.
So if you're an independent rider and you haven't signed up, it's a $25 one-time fee, lifetime. It comes with insurance, just like ABATE and all your others. So it's $3,500. So I think ABATE's on $2,500.
So life and dismemberment.
Yeah,
Accidental-
accidental death and dismemberment.
accidental
And
life.
you do not have to be on your motorcycle.
Yeah.
Just so you understand that.
And that's the same thing with ABAC too. If y'all an ABAC member, keep it up to date. If you fall off the roof and break, and, I don't think you get something for a broken leg, it's, if you
Just cut off.
If it's
finger.
cut off
a
or
finger, something like that, yeah.
lose a limb,
Wrecking your car and die,
yeah.
or wreck on your motorcycle and die, or on your motorcycle, get your leg cut off on one of them cable barriers along the highway that they try to catch us in.
Yeah.
You know, it'll give you so much money for that. It's not much, but it'll maybe pay part of the ambulance ride or something, you know, but it helps out.
It does help out though if you are in a wreck and you are deceased. It does help your family with funeral arrangements. You know, the process doesn't take that long. We found that out. You know,
Okay.
with you and I.
Yeah.
You get them the information as soon as you can, and they start processing it. So, but if anybody's interested, just see me after the meeting.
All right, we got our attorney today. Have a big round of applause for Richard Parker.
Been rough down there, huh, Richard?
Well,
Yep, that's a
I've
deep
been-
subject.
I gotta tell you, my wife broke a bone in her
Oh.
foot, back in July. And if you break a large femur bone, it'll heal in 4 to 6 weeks. This bone has such a low blood supply, it takes 4 months to heal. So I have to drive her everywhere she goes. She can't drive a car, much less her Vespa, which is her daily commute, to work every day. So that's been kind of all consuming to start with, and I don't know what happened. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, and she and I are doing something, and I looked at myself and said, today's Sunday, I'm supposed to be in Alexandria. It's already 4 o'clock. But anyway, she just last week got back on the Vespa for the first time since July, so
Yeah.
we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Not much to say, today, you know, Swamp and Donnie both have touched on issues that I normally like to go over with you guys. And I'll touch on them again in a little bit more detail. But before I get started, I want everybody to say a prayer. Bill Bish was in charge for our organization of sending out the newsletters and everything like that. That I always had to refer to advise you guys and bring everybody up to date on what's been going on. He passed away untimely in August from complications from a medical procedure. So prayers for his family, and we all miss him greatly because he was a long time big dog in our organization. So first of all, Donnie's talking about policies. I'm finding a few more people that have finally, because it used to be something else nobody hardly used it. But the things you need to understand are it's typically the amount of you get is the same as the amount of liability you have for your underlying policy. So if you just buy a minimum $15,000 liability policy, I don't think you can get a $300,000. You got to get the big 100, 300, or more,
Across the
whatever.
board.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just can't tell you how many times I've had to bear witness to people who've got catastrophic injuries with brain injuries and brain damage with a leg off, and the person that hit them had no insurance, or only the minimum of 15 that they let us get away with here in Louisiana. Nobody else is that low in the whole United States. So it's more important in Louisiana than any place else that you have the policies. And the good thing about a policy is, although not many laws are in favor of us little people in Louisiana, they're mostly in favor of all the big corporations and all of that. Like, for instance, our statute of limitations to file a lawsuit is 1 year. If you don't get it 1 year, you missed out. Nobody else, everybody else is 2, 3 years, whatever. Well, the one thing we got, I don't know how somebody made a mistake and did something nice for us. Our statute of limitations on a claim is 2 years. So that's good to know. Now, as far as when you get stopped, okay? We've told you a bunch of times, name, rank, and serial number. Don't make small talk with them for many different reasons, okay? The first reason you don't want to make small talk is you don't know if what you say is going to be right or wrong, and it's going to hurt you or help you, right? The second thing is, if you voluntarily engage in a conversation with them, that is a gift to them, because the Constitution says they can only hold you long enough to figure out who you are and what's going on, and they got to let you go. Either arrest you or let you go. But not if you're talking to them. You have given them permission, you have consented for them to keep you there longer and longer and longer. So don't talk to them, all right? The other thing is, a couple of things that we typically hand out to y'all, and I don't see a box here today. I'm gonna bring some boxes for some more supplies if we need them. All right, 2 really important things about this issue. One of them is the little card, so that you're not a smart aleck, and you're not being disrespectful to the cop to getting mad at you. You read this card, and then you don't say another word, and then you're not consenting to a search. You're not talking to anybody until your lawyer's there. And I tell them, look, lawyer, Mr. Officer, I'm not a smart aleck, but my lawyer told me he would fire me as a client if I ever talked to law enforcement when he wasn't present. And I just got to listen to my lawyer. So, or just read the card. Okay. The other thing is, well, one more thing in that respect. So, case in point, war story of the week. client is in jail. How did he get put in jail? He got pulled over in a traffic stop. They searched his car. There's 2 passengers in the back seat were holding drugs and paraphernalia. Right? There was a bag in his car that they want to attribute to him that had drugs and paraphernalia. He's like, no, I'm on parole. I don't do that shit. Okay? That's all for these passengers. Well, here's a couple of problems. If he would have had the card and only read the card and not said anything else. Oh, good, yeah, I'm getting to that next, okay? I got a big box in this, I'm opening the big box.
We got more too.
Okay. So here's the card, it's got the business card on it, it's got a lot of things that are helpful for you, but it's got, here we go. Officer, please understand, I have the right to have an attorney present if you want to question me or conduct any search of my body or personal effects. I am not giving my consent to any type of search. If I am under arrest, I wish to invoke and exercise my Miranda rights. I want to speak with an attorney now. I do not want my personal property impounded, nor do I consent to any impoundment. I request the opportunity to secure my personal effects. If I'm not under arrest, please tell me immediately so that I may leave. All right, so what did my clients do? Cops pull up behind him. They got the body cameras on too. Now I understand, they almost always, most of the time they're having these body cameras on. So he is recorded saying this stuff, all right? You know why we pulled you over? No, because back at that intersection 3 blocks back, you rolled through that stop sign. You didn't stop. Oh, I'm sorry. He just confessed to running a stop sign. I'm sorry. All right? They didn't have probable cause to come search the car. All right? They didn't have probable cause to stop him if he didn't run a stop sign. All right? So I've now gotten the discovery from the DA's office, and it's got all the body cam video. Guess what? It stops after he allegedly ran the stop sign, so they don't have any video of him running the stop sign. And it would have been their word against him, but he's already said, I'm sorry. The next thing is, Louisiana, you don't have to just show your ID. You got to show your registration, don't you? And your insurance, don't you? Well, guess what happened on this particular stop? Okay, passengers, show me your IDs. Female passenger opens purse, syringes, and drugs as she's getting her ID out. Okay, you're going down. Male passenger in the back opens his bag to get his ID. Crack pipe, drugs in his bag. They're going down. So, if you got any kind of thing in your saddlebags, you don't want them to have the right to see it in plain view while you just so happen to be getting your insurance and your registration. So this is for you to put your insurance and your registration in this and keep it on your person any place other than in your saddlebag, so they don't have any opportunity to see what might be in your bike. They can't go and look in the trunk of a car or in your bike or anything like that until they get probable cause, right? So those are the 2 things I wanted to just touch on today before I open up the floor to questions. Get you some as high as you possibly can. Get one of these things to keep your papers in so that you don't do the same thing as these people did when they're trying to just get their ID out, they got themselves busted. Cool? Anybody has had any problems lately with law enforcement? No complaints? All right. Here's another thing. Our roads aren't the best, obviously. Okay? But the thing is, the government is not automatically liable. No matter how defective the defect is, they're not automatically liable. We have the burden of proving that that defect was there long enough that they either knew or should have known about it and had a chance to fix it, right? So what the thing to do is to alert the fact that there are these road defects to the government. And then when somebody gets destroyed on a bad defect, we've got proof that it had been reported earlier. So we all need to know how to report to the highway department, or whether it's a state road, or whether it's a county or parish road, or whether it's a federal road. You need to make complaints of all these defective highway conditions, because that's our burden of proof. When somebody does get hurt, I hate to have to tell them, sorry, nobody ever reported this before, you're not going to be able to have a case. As opposed to, oh yeah, this is great, we're going to win. But no other problems, anybody? Yes, sir.
What is the deal with the, like, 165 is terrible, but say the small town parking the car up, black tinted windows, no cops in it, just a camera, and you get your ticket in the mail.
Yeah, okay. Camera tickets are legal, all right? They've been on again, off again with that for the last 15 years about making them not legal. Okay, now they are. So they pretty much have got it worked out to this. If the camera starts off making the allegation that you either ran the stop sign or sped through the intersection, okay, it's got to be reviewed by a human being, law enforcement officer. And he's got to confirm that the violation took place. Then they got to give you a chance to pay a fine, which won't go against your driving record, okay? And if you don't pay the fine, there's nothing they can do to you or your license. All they can do is report you to the credit bureau for owing money that you didn't pay. So that's kind of the skinny on these traffic cameras.
So you can't take a picture of the money and send it?
That's what we've been doing.
Anyway, all right, is that it? Yes, sir.
I have a brother that has a meeting with a small town mayor that has a, deputy who is harassing his daughter. She's been stopped 7 times, no tickets that we know of, but, he has a meeting tomorrow. Is there any, what can you tell me, advice to give to him for his meeting tomorrow?
That's kind of a broad question. It's possible I could be available to talk to the gentleman this afternoon over the phone and kind of interview with him and give him some pointers.
How about, could I give him one of your cards and see if I can get him to call you?
I'm gonna give you, my card just has my office number on it, but if you give me his name and number, I can call him. The home office,
Before he steps out. So, thank you.
sure thing. It's got my email on it.
I bet you a little short letter from the New Orleans attorney and get their damn attention.
If it comes to that, if that's what they need, sure.
Yeah, he's-
So, listen,
I think the man is just really wanting to hustle the girl,
sure.
but harassment's harassment, and, she's getting tired of it, he's pretty upset, and I don't want, we're gonna have to go bail him out tomorrow.
Unfortunately, when I first got out of law school 37, 8, whatever years ago, we had pretty good civil rights laws, and the status of those laws was pretty much in our favor. But over these years, they've been taking more and more rights away from us and giving more and more rights to law enforcement. And, things, as everybody knows, got a little bit crazy over the last few years with police brutality and killing people. And so there is potentially enough political support to cut back on qualified immunity. When I got out of school, if you could prove this was a buckaroo cop who had a bad intention of doing what he did to you, that's a violation of your civil rights, you win. Not no more. The status of the law says, if the judge can imagine a hypothetical law enforcement officer who could have been in good faith when he did what he did to you, you don't have a right to sue him, he's immune. That's the qualified immunity. So tell all your legislatures that shit gotta go. Get rid of qualified immunity.
Can you talk a little bit about a DWI stop and about taking a breath test?
Okay.
And all that stuff?
Yeah, so here's the deal. So like my client was trying to play nice with the cop by saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," when he rolled through the stop sign. A lot of times, people's knee-jerk reaction when they get asked if they're drinking, or they want to be nice. "Oh, I had one beer." No, because they know everybody says they had one beer. All right. So first of all, you don't have to talk to them, right? Second of all, used to be everybody says don't blow, don't blow, don't take the blow test. Well, that works for a while, but about 15 or 20 years ago, they said, well, you know what? Even if you don't blow, if you fail a field sobriety test, that can be evidence of you being intoxicated. So you still possibly could beat the field sobriety test, with things, tricks and all that we know as lawyers, but it makes it really hard. It's an uphill battle. If you take the field sobriety test, most of the time you're gonna get convicted on the field sobriety test, alone. Now, not only do you not do field sobriety out there, and listen, how many times I've had clients come to me, I got stopped, it was bullshit. I'm telling you, it was bullshit. Okay, he wasn't drunk. No, he told me I failed field sobriety, that's bullshit. Okay, I get the video. Dude, how you like this video? So you might think in your brain and in your mind and heart of hearts that you could possibly pass it. Don't think. Don't think at all. Just read this card, keep the mouth closed, and see what happens. If they're gonna arrest you, that's all right. At least they're not gonna convict you of DWI, which is a really mess. Okay? The one issue, however, is it is legal for them to get a search warrant to draw your blood. Okay? Now, it's a pain for them to do that, and they gotta wake up and piss off a judge at night to do that. But if you're really trashed or you got in a wreck, they gonna do it. Okay? And the other thing is, they don't even need a warrant if if you're involved in an accident with serious injuries, they automatically have the right to take the blood without a warrant. All right? Okay.
Anybody got any questions, Doug?
I was gonna make a comment as somebody that currently works for the Department of Transportation and Development, that whenever you have a complaint about something in the road, do not contact your local field office. Contact the district office headquarters. It will be tossed. It'll be tossed away. Nobody will know anything about it. That's just a fact. So you contact the district office and you leave it with ask for the engineer that's over that particular area, and they have to give you that information.
How many districts do we have in Louisiana?
I don't even know, but
We can Google it.
Yeah, it's upwards of 10.
Mm-hmm. So like New Orleans is in a different district, and Baton Rouge and whoever.
So from my area, is District 05, and that covers Northeast Louisiana.
Hey, you got 2 of them up there, don't you?
Yep, and then we have 050, then we have 58, which is Chase and those areas. So there's kind of 2 of them between here and Arkansas.
Send them that fax that way you got a backup of the key.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, not just this issue with the roads, but anytime you're dealing with anybody in government, okay, making countless phone calls is not as good as sending one email or fax. You'll be surprised the people that you try to get to do something never would do anything, but all of a sudden you got a fax or an email to prove that they got it, you'll get some results.
It's a timestamp.
Yeah.
What we do, we've done it, send that fax, anything goes to government, go back, email it back.
Any other questions for Richard? You got anything? No?
No, when's our next meeting, January what?
Wait,
January.
Got anything on?
No, we're,
Yeah, you need to find out who's cooking and when the next meeting. That's your job. Take care.
who's cooking? Any volunteers? And the next meeting looks like the 28th,
When you had that January.
January.
Yep. I think they know what it is.
January 28th.
Yeah.
And we'll have food.
Lionel's gonna take care of it. Right?
Let me ask you a question about January 28th. Could we possibly do it the weekend before on the 21st?
Okay, why?
Because I think we may have an AIM attorney seminar, the last weekend in January.
Okay, you say any reason, John? I'm not doing it then?
I think we probably need to let them know later or something, right? You wanna put it on 28th, be done with it, or 21st, whatever.
What do you think? What about the church?
We're good.
We're good? Yeah, all right. So it's gonna be 21st one?
Yeah.
All right,
Sounds good.
January 21st.
And who's gonna cook?
We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it.
All right, so we got that taken care of.
Okay. I'll send that out this week and follow up on those call to actions again.
Yeah, they call those people that haven't been showing up.
Yeah, well,
All right,
if they know how to write,
what's that?
if they know how to write legibly.
Any new gloves today? You wanna step up? How y'all doing?
All right. My name's David Mott, and I want to start an RC
Okay.
around Lake Charles area.
Are y'all the ones that came,
Yes, sir. It was my crew.
Yeah.
They got turned down.
Yeah, y'all
turned down.
Which y'all name y'all club now?
Crazy Cajuns. Crazy.
Crazy Cajun?
With a C?
Y'all got a hat?
Okay.
You got, oh, cool.
Cajuns with a C?
Okay.
Both of them came. Oh, you got it right.
What we gonna do, since y'all not on today's agenda,
Okay.
I'm gonna come back in January and, we should have something down for y'all by then.
Can I get some contact information?
Who's the president?
Yes, sir.
I have your number, huh?
Yes, sir. I called you the other day. Told y'all stuff.
Okay, okay. I didn't know you were coming.
Yes, sir.
I might have confused you with somebody else.
So, I already got it card.
He ain't even breathing.
Okay, alright. Text me on the next couple of days and remind me what your name and trade occasions and all that stuff, and we'll get y'all rolling. But I think y'all have everything on that end taken care of already, huh? It's just a name change and this patch.
Name change patches.
Okay. Alright.
After he didn't get rid of that, I need to get some.
It's a blue, it's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah, let me take a picture.
It's more of a teal, but the computer wouldn't print up a teal.
Okay, so it's not blue, it's gonna be
It's a
green.
teal. It's like yeah.
Band-Aid.
It's a very light. I
Alright.
never do.
Well, give us a little rundown about yourselves now, introduce yourself to everybody and let them know what y'all about and what y'all plan on doing.
Hello, I'm Adrian Mott. I want to start an RC club around Lake Charles area. We're more into benefits, poker runs, stuff like that, benefit our community, stuff like that, you know. We want to try to boost the outlook on bikers. Try to see if we can change their outlook on us. Be friendlier, you know. That's about all I got, really. You got anything?
Basically, we're gonna do charity, we want to do charity rides, help people out, help our veterans, help the kids that are sick, Christmas stuff for the kids. Our brothers and sisters who else have already clubs, we wanna support them in their rides and, stuff like that. And my name is Curtis Stizzo.
Okay, well, we'll see y'all
Any
next in
LEs?
January.
Many of them are.
Any LEs?
No, sir. No, sir.
Y'all in Lake Charles?
Yes, sir.
Retired.
Right outside Lake Charles, our area.
Iowa?
Just kind of outside a little bit, but yeah.
Oh, around Mary?
How many are you?
Around Mary's.
I know you. I know these two old boys from somewhere. Dirty Rice.
As of right now.
Uh-huh.
16.
16 years?
Oh, that's a good though.
One is doing after we get
Yeah.
approved.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool deal. We'll see y'all in January on the 21st. Yeah.
First.
Anybody else?
Yeah, we can do it.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves to the crowd.
I'm Brant. We are Redneck Rebels.
I'm Kenneth. Danny.
We're putting together an RC club. We came, spoke with Swamp before. We had some issues we had to take care of. And basically what we're putting together is just a club for all of our friends to hang around with, ride, put benefits on, charity events, not into the bar hopping, and do not want to be a one percenter. This is strictly a riding club, nothing other than that.
Where you located at?
Baton Rouge. Facts.
Where y'all located out of?
Well, right out of Baton Rouge,
Baton
Baton
Rouge
Rouge,
area.
Dallas.
And I called all the clubs in Baton Rouge. I've been dealing with these guys since the last meeting they came, and so I checked up on them and everything. They say they're a bunch of good guys, and clubs over there don't have a problem with them. So they're here today to join us, and you know, and y'all just gonna be an RC.
Yes, sir.
I'll show everybody the patch. Let's see if anybody has any objections to that. Everybody cool with those colors? Any objections to it? So
We are
anybody,
changing,
what's that?
so this is the original set of patches.
Uh-huh,
We're gonna change it to where the RC goes R here, C here.
let's see.
It's
Where you gonna put
R here, C here.
Yeah,
So,
inside,
yeah, so it's all
Yeah.
completely one piece,
okay.
a complete one piece patch. Does anybody else have a problem with that part?
No, that's
Or
a good,
I
that's
do
a good move. That's a good
Yep.
move. Inside.
How long y'all been at that route?
What, the club?
Yeah.
The club's about, we just started about 4 months ago. But we had some hiccups along the way, so.
Yeah, they contacted me and, you know, told me they wanted to do an RC, so I was gonna give them a little bit of advice on how to go about it. And I mainly told them, you know, where they were gonna be from. They told me Baton Rouge, so I told them they need to, you know, go check out the bikers in Baton Rouge area and get to know them, and, you know, and they reported back to me, said they seemed like some good guys.
Where y'all at of?
Get up with us before you head out, right, Baton Rouge, too.
Alright, we already got it in Dallas.
Yeah, they just came in.
Okay. Yeah. So they talked to everybody over there,
LEs?
No, sir.
and they're just gonna be an RC. Y'all MC, right?
No, BC. Veteran Club.
What's that?
BC.
Veterans Club.
Who?
They're a veteran club.
Okay, okay. Anybody got any questions for these guys? Any objections? None? All right. See Ed.
See me after the meeting.
Y'all got anybody that can sponsor y'all? Look, if not, we'll find one for y'all. Okay. See Ed right there. He'll tell you whatever you have to do.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Anybody you got me?
That's right, that's right. Any benefits going on, toy runs or anything like that? What you got?
They're coming.
Veterans Fellows Chapter, we are creating our first annual cancer benefit. We do have a little girl who is 7 with leukemia. One of our brother chapters, Rustin, they do a Center for the Blind run, so we've been trying to come up with something. We actually bought a few tickets for an AR we're gonna raffle, if anybody's interested, but, we failed to get a flyer out, bring down today, but I will do my best to get one as soon as possible. The 16th of December, Lazy T Arena between Gina and Jonesville Highway 84. It's about a 200-foot long building right on the highway. You can't miss it. We're gonna do a poker run. We're gonna do food, rides for the children and stuff like that. So anybody's interested in coming in that area for this little girl, this will be our first annual. And we did bring a few tickets. Anybody want to? You don't have to be present.
When you get a flyer.
Yes.
Text it to me.
Yes, sir.
I'll put it on.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Everybody's
that.
got
I
flyers.
seen it on the computer.
Yes, sir. That's just me and that printer don't get along.
Definitely upload any flyers to your Facebook, right? Yeah.
Anybody else got anything going on? You wanna share? We all good? No problem. Like I said, holidays are coming up. Watch out for that other guy, you know. There'll be a lot of people, a lot of stupid people out there drinking and stuff, you know, drinking and eating to make them sleepy, you know, so be on the lookout for them. And watch out for yourself and take heed to what, our attorney said about, you know,
And your brother.
yeah.
Watch your brother if he's
And,
not watching out for himself.
I guess that's about it, unless anybody else got anything, we'll see everybody in, January the 21st. All right, thanks for coming, y'all, y'all be safe going on.